welcome to the Property Wealth Podcast. We're so glad you're joining us today. If you're over 40 and looking to dive into real estate investing, you're definitely in the right place.
Absolutely, Sarah. You know, investing in real estate can feel a bit overwhelming at first, but it can also be one of the most rewarding paths to building long-term wealth.
Right? And today, we're going to share some must-read books that can really help new investors get started on the right foot. These books have shaped so many successful investors, and I think they'll resonate with you too.
Yeah, each of these books offers unique insights, strategies, and really relatable stories that make the concepts of real estate investing much more accessible.
Exactly. We'll touch on everything from understanding market trends to tips on financing your first property, and even some common pitfalls to avoid.
And let's not forget about the mindset piece, which is so crucial in this journey.
Absolutely. So whether you're just curious about real estate or ready to take that first leap, these books can guide you.
And we'll highlight some practical takeaways from each one that you can apply right away.
So let's jump into it. What's the first book on our list?
You know, Sarah, when we think about the current economic landscape, especially for those of us over 40, it's really a crucial time to be looking at real estate investing.
Absolutely, Mike. I mean, with retirement timelines shifting, folks are really feeling the pressure to build that nest egg, right?
Yeah, and it's not just about having enough to retire on, but also about protecting what you've worked so hard for. With inflation creeping up, the value of money isn't what it used to be. Real estate tends to be a solid hedge against inflation.
Right. I remember chatting with a listener, let's call him John. He was in his early 50s, and he shared how he felt anxious about his retirement savings. He had a decent amount saved up, but he realized it wouldn't stretch as far as he thought.
Exactly. And when you think about it, John's not alone. Many people are waking up to the reality that traditional savings accounts aren't cutting it anymore.
Yeah, and real estate can provide that potential for appreciation and cash flow, which is super important as we age. It's like having that reliable income stream, you know?
For sure. And let's also consider the emotional side of financial security. A lot of folks want to leave something for their kids or grandkids. It's about building generational wealth.
Definitely. I've heard so many stories of investors who started small, maybe with a duplex or a single-family home. Over time, they've been able to pass those properties down. It's not just about the money, but the legacy.
That's a great point. One investor I know, let's call her Lisa, started investing in her late 40s. She was really worried about supporting her children's education and having something to leave behind. Fast forward a decade, and now she's not only covering tuition, but also building equity for her family.
Wow, that's inspiring. And think about how much peace of mind that brings. Knowing that you can provide for your loved ones while also securing your own financial future.
Right? And let's not forget about the current market shifts. With interest rates fluctuating, it's more important than ever to stay informed and educated. Those who dive into books and resources can adapt and make smarter choices.
Absolutely, knowledge is power, especially when you're considering investments in real estate. There's a lot of noise out there, but the right information can help you cut through it.
And for those over 40, understanding market trends can lead to better investment decisions. Investing isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And the earlier you start educating yourself, the more prepared you'll be.
Exactly. And the books we're discussing can serve as that foundation. It's like having a mentor guiding you through the complexities of real estate.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. If someone had started reading about real estate in their 40s, they could have made a few strategic decisions which could have drastically changed their financial trajectory.
Right. And it's not just about buying and selling properties. It's about understanding the market, the neighborhoods, the future developments. It's all interconnected.
And when you start to grasp that, it builds confidence. One story I love is about a couple in their late 40s who invested in a property in an up-and-coming area. They took the time to read and understand the local market dynamics, and now they're reaping the rewards.
That's a perfect example. They didn't just dive in blindly. They educated themselves first. And now they're sitting on a great asset that's only going to appreciate over time.
Exactly. Plus, with the ability to leverage your investments, you can actually buy more properties, which can accelerate your wealth-building journey. It's like compounding interest, but in real estate form.
And that's key, especially as we think about retirement timelines. The earlier you're able to start building that portfolio, the more you can set yourself up for success.
Right, and we also have to consider the emotional aspect. Investing in property can feel daunting, but it's also incredibly rewarding. It gives you a sense of control over your financial future.
Yeah, it's empowering. You're not just at the mercy of the stock market or other volatile investments. With real estate, you have tangible assets that you can improve and influence.
And there's something really fulfilling about that. I've seen investors transform not just their finances, but also their mindset through real estate. It's like they go from feeling anxious to feeling accomplished.
That's such a great point, Mike. It's about the journey as much as the destination. And for those over 40, it's essential to realize that it's never too late to start.
Exactly. The earlier you can get started, the more time you have to learn, adapt, and grow your portfolio. It's about making informed choices now so you can enjoy the benefits later.
And speaking of informed choices, this is a great segue into some core strategies that can really help those looking to get started in real estate.
So let's dive into some of those core strategies and rules of thumb that can really guide new investors. I think the first one that comes to mind is the 1% rule.
Right, the 1% rule. That's a pretty popular one, isn't it? So can you break it down for us?
Sure. The 1% rule basically says that for a property to be a good investment, the monthly rent should be at least 1% of the purchase price. So if you buy a property for, say, $200,000, you should aim for at least $2,000 in monthly rent.
That sounds straightforward. But, what if the rent is a bit lower? Should you just walk away from the deal?
Not necessarily. It's a guideline, not a hard and fast rule. If the property is in a great area with potential for appreciation, or if it has unique features that could attract tenants, it might still be worth considering.
So it's about the overall picture then?
Exactly. And speaking of the overall picture, another useful guideline is the 50% rule. You've heard of that one, right?
Yeah, I have. That one's about estimating your operating expenses.
Right. The 50% rule suggests that about 50% of your gross rental income will go towards operating expenses, things like property management, maintenance, insurance, and taxes. So if you're bringing in $2,000 a month in rent, you'd estimate about $1,000 for expenses.
That makes budgeting a lot simpler, doesn't it?
It does. And it helps you get a clearer picture of your cash flow. If you're looking at that same $2,000 in rent, and you subtract that $1,000 in expenses, you're left with $1,000. That's your net operating income, or NOI.
And then what?
From there, you can look at your financing costs. If you have a mortgage, you'll need to subtract those payments too. And that leads us to something crucial: cap rates.
Cap rates. I know that's a big one for evaluating properties, right?
Exactly. The capitalization rate helps investors understand the return on an investment property. You calculate it by taking the NOI and dividing it by the property's purchase price. So let's say your NOI is $12,000 a year on that $200,000 property.
That would give you a cap rate of 6%, right?
Exactly. It's a simple formula, and a higher cap rate generally indicates a better return on investment. But it's important to compare cap rates within your market.
Right, because a 6% cap rate might be great in one area, but not in another.
You've got it. And that's why doing your market research is critical. Understanding local trends can really help you make better decisions.
So let's say someone is looking at a property. What would be a quick deal evaluation checklist they could use?
Great question. First, I'd say start by checking the property's location. Is it in a growing area? Are schools and amenities nearby?
That makes sense. What's next?
Next, look at the numbers: purchase price, estimated rent, and operating expenses. Use that 1% and 50% rule as quick checks. Then, calculate your cap rate to see if it meets your investment criteria.
And don't forget to consider the condition of the property, right?
Absolutely. You want to assess any repairs or renovations needed. Sometimes those costs can sneak up on you.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories about that.
Right? And then you'd also want to think about your financing options. Are you paying in cash, or are you considering a mortgage?
So with financing, the interest rate and terms can really affect your cash flow, huh?
Definitely. A lower interest rate means lower monthly payments, which can improve your cash flow significantly.
And what about different types of properties?
Great point. Single-family homes, multifamily units, commercial properties, they all have different dynamics. For example, multifamily units can provide a more stable cash flow since multiple tenants can help cover expenses.
So diversifying your portfolio can be a smart move?
Yes! And don't forget about markets too. Consider investing in emerging neighborhoods where property values are likely to rise.
That sounds exciting. But I imagine there are some common pitfalls to watch out for too.
Oh, for sure. Many new investors underestimate the importance of thorough research and due diligence.
Like, they might rush into a deal without knowing all the facts?
Exactly. And then there's the emotional side of investing. It's easy to get attached to a property because it looks good on paper or feels right emotionally.
But that can cloud your judgment, can't it?
Totally. It's important to stick to your criteria and not let emotions sway you from making a sound investment.
And I guess that's why having a solid plan is essential.
Absolutely. A well-thought-out strategy will help you navigate those tempting deals that might not be as great as they seem.
So it sounds like a mix of numbers, research, and emotional discipline is key here.
Exactly, and that balance can really set you up for long-term success in real estate investing. So one of the biggest pitfalls I see new investors fall into is over-leveraging. You know, they get excited about a property and they take on too much debt, thinking, this is going to be a gold mine.
Right, that rush of excitement can really cloud judgment.
Exactly. I remember a client of mine. Let's call him Tom. He bought a duplex in a pretty trendy neighborhood, but he stretched himself thin with a high mortgage.
Ouch. So what happened with Tom?
Well, he thought he could manage the cash flow easily, but then unexpected repairs popped up, and suddenly his cash flow was negative. He barely had enough to cover the mortgage, let alone the repairs.
That's tough. It's like he was sailing smoothly until a storm hit.
Right. And the lesson there is, always ensure you have a cushion. A reserve fund can really save you. It's better to be conservative with your financing.
So what's a good rule of thumb for that reserve fund?
A good starting point is to aim for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. That way, you're not scrambling when something unexpected comes up.
Speaking of unexpected, what about bad tenants? That's another common pitfall, isn't it?
Absolutely. Bad tenants can be a nightmare. I had another client, let's call her Lisa. She was so eager to rent out her property that she didn't do thorough background checks.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, she ended up with tenants who didn't pay their rent on time and eventually stopped paying altogether.
That must have been so stressful for her.
It really was. She had to go through the eviction process, which, as you know, can be lengthy and costly.
Yeah, I can imagine the financial strain there.
Definitely. The key takeaway here is to vet your tenants thoroughly. Check their credit history, income, and references.
And maybe even meet them in person?
Yes. A face-to-face meeting can reveal a lot about someone's character. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is.
So true. Another pitfall I hear about is ignoring cash flow.
Right. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any investment. If you're not tracking it, you're in trouble. I had a friend who bought a property and he thought it was a great deal.
But
he didn't factor in the ongoing costs, property management fees, maintenance, and utilities. He was so focused on the purchase price that he neglected to look at the bigger picture.
did he end up regretting that?
For sure. He had to dip into his savings just to keep the place afloat.
That's a wake-up call.
It is. So always analyze cash flow deeply. Create a spreadsheet, list out every expense, and project your income.
That sounds smart. What about timing the market?
Timing the market is a tricky one. Many new investors think they can get it just right, waiting for the perfect moment to buy.
Yeah, I've heard so many stories about people trying to time it and missing out completely.
Exactly. I know someone who held off buying for years, thinking prices would drop, and when they finally pulled the trigger, they ended up paying significantly more.
That's frustrating.
It really is. The lesson here is to focus on your long-term strategy rather than trying to time the market.
So it's better to buy consistently rather than waiting for that perfect moment?
Yes, dollar cost averaging can work wonders. Just get in when you're able and hold for the long term.
I love that idea. What about hidden costs?
Oh, hidden costs can be a real killer. I had a client who bought a property and thought he was all set, but he didn't account for things like property taxes, insurance, and even homeowners association fees.
Yikes.
Right? He was blindsided when he got his first bill.
So it's crucial to do a thorough financial analysis before jumping in.
Exactly. Always ask the seller for a breakdown of all costs and do your research about the area.
What are some red flags that investors should look for early on?
Good question. Look for properties that have been on the market for a long time. That could indicate underlying issues.
That makes sense.
Also, pay attention to the condition of the property. If it looks run down, it might need more repairs than you're anticipating.
And how about the neighborhood?
Definitely. Research the area's vacancy rates, crime rates, and even future developments. If the neighborhood is declining, it can affect your investment.
So it's really about doing your homework, isn't it?
Absolutely. Knowledge is power in real estate. The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
And if someone finds themselves in a tough situation, what are some next steps?
First, don't panic. Assess your situation calmly and, if necessary, consult with professionals. Whether it's a financial advisor or a real estate expert, they can provide guidance.
That's great advice.
And remember, it's not the end of the world. Many investors have faced hurdles and come out stronger on the other side.
Absolutely. It's all about learning and adapting.
Exactly. Keep your focus on long-term goals, and don't let short-term setbacks derail you.
Such valuable insights, Mike. Now let's transition to what our listeners can do next to keep moving forward in their investment journey.
All right, so now that we've talked about some must-read books for new investors, let's dive into some immediate steps you can take right now.
Yeah, I love that idea. So what's the first actionable step you'd recommend?
Well, first off, I think it's really important to set up a habit of analyzing deals. Like, even if you're just starting, you could aim to analyze one deal per week.
That's totally doable. It helps keep you in the game, right? What tools can they use for that?
Absolutely. Tools like Zillow are great for getting a sense of property values and rental rates. And then there's the Bigger Pockets calculator. It's super handy for analyzing potential profits on a deal.
Oh, I love Bigger Pockets. It's like a community as well, isn't it?
Exactly. And speaking of community, joining a local meetup group can be a game changer. You meet people who are also starting out, share experiences, and even find potential partners.
That sounds like a great way to network. What about apps? Any other tools you'd recommend?
For sure. DealCheck is another solid app for analyzing rental properties. You can track expenses, cash flow, and even make comparisons between properties.
Nice! And if someone is looking to get a better understanding of rental prices, they should definitely check out Rentometer, right?
Yes, Rentometer is fantastic for quickly seeing how much rent is going for in a specific area. It's perfect for making sure you're not over or underpricing your rental.
I'm really liking this. It feels so practical. What about actually getting started with financing options?
Great question. I'd suggest looking into local MLS access if they can. It gives you a deeper view of the market and helps you find motivated sellers.
And understanding financing is crucial too. Maybe starting with a basic book on real estate financing could be a good idea.
Definitely. Books like The Book on Managing Rental Properties by Brandon Turner can give new investors a solid foundation on how to manage their properties effectively.
And, of course, podcasts. There are so many out there now. What are some of your favorites?
Well, I really enjoy Bigger Pockets podcast. It's packed with interviews from seasoned investors who share their journeys and insights.
There's so much wisdom in those stories. It can be really inspiring to hear how others have navigated their paths.
For sure. And you can listen while you're doing other things, which makes it easy to fit into your day.
Right. Multitasking is key. Now, aside from tools and resources, what other small habits can folks start implementing?
I think tracking your expenses is a great habit to develop early on. Whether it's personal finance or potential investment properties, knowing where your money goes is crucial.
That's so true. It's all about being aware of your financial situation.
Exactly. And another habit could be to set aside some time each week to read or listen to something educational about real estate.
That sounds very manageable. Even just 30 minutes a week can add up over time.
Yes, and it helps you stay motivated and informed. Plus, you might discover new strategies or insights that resonate with you.
So true. It's all about finding what works for you and starting from there.
Right, and don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Each deal you analyze or new connection you make is a step forward.
That's such a positive mindset. It really keeps you motivated to keep going.
Definitely. And remember, starting where you are is perfectly fine. You don't need to have everything figured out at once.
Absolutely, it's a journey. So, with all these tools and habits in mind, what's the next step for someone just getting started?
Well, I'd say start by choosing one or two of these tools or habits that resonate with you, and just dive in. You really can make progress quickly if you take it step by step.
I love that approach. It makes real estate investing feel much more accessible.
Exactly, and it's all about building momentum. The more you engage, the more confidence you'll gain.
So those are some practical first steps. Now let's bring this all together.
So as we wrap up today's episode, let's quickly recap those must-read books for new investors.
Yeah, definitely. First up, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It really emphasizes the importance of financial education, right?
Exactly. It challenges the traditional mindset of working for money. Instead, it encourages you to make your money work for you. Such a powerful perspective.
And then we touched on The Book on Rental Property Investing by Brandon Turner. It's so practical, with actionable strategies for managing rental properties.
Right, and it breaks down everything from finding properties to handling tenants. It's like a roadmap for anyone starting out.
And, of course, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller. That one really focuses on building wealth through a mindset shift and strategic planning.
Absolutely. It shows that it's not just about buying properties. It's about thinking long-term and setting goals that align with your vision.
So there you have it, folks. Whether you're just dipping your toes into real estate or looking to expand your portfolio, these books can really guide you on your journey.
And remember, building wealth through real estate isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Take your time, learn, and grow.
Yes, every step you take now is an investment in your future.
If you found today's episode helpful, please like, subscribe, and don't hesitate to comment. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaway or any questions you might have.
And share this episode with someone over 40 who's thinking about diving into property investing.
Next time, we'll dive into real estate calculators you should bookmark. Those tools can really make a difference in your investment decisions.
Can't wait for that. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, every little step counts towards your financial future.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.